Hey everyone, this is Elias with RevMatch Media. Today we have a massive SUV to review. This is the 2020 Lexus LX570. You're not going to believe how much this thing costs. Let's check it out. So for this one, we're going to take out the paper because we are going to tell you how much this thing costs. Specifically this one I'm driving. It's $103,330. Yes guys, this is a six-figure SUV. This is literally the most expensive car, SUV, truck I've ever driven. It's huge, and that price is huge as well. But there's a lot to it, a lot of great stuff. Some stuff maybe we can change, but yeah, let's start off with the beginning. As a friend of mine described it, it's the most gaudy front end they've seen, and I agree. Nothing bad. I love it. It's got these really cool cross pattern triangles that happen in the front grille, big and massive. The headlights are super bright. It's got fog lights here as well. It's definitely got a Lexus front end. There's a lot of space to put a very big engine, and that's what we have in here. We have a 5.7 liter V8 with 383 horsepower. This thing really roars. It's a very powerful engine, and you know, 383 may not sound a lot, especially when you're dealing with such a big vehicle, but when it's connected to that 8-speed transmission, that automatic transmission, it works really well to get this up and going. Or you know, when you're out and about in trails and you need that power to really get it out, the differentials and all this, the drivetrain works really well to accomplish that. Coming over to the wheels, these guys are actually the 21-inch split 10 spoke alloy wheels. Now again, we're talking about price. We're dealing with a $745 wheel option. Yeah, I can see why. Definitely at a 21-inch premium wheel, it's gonna fetch a good amount of money. Now, what this truck kind of is, it's the glamping equivalent for off-roading SUVs or just off-road vehicles. If that's what you're gonna be, if that's what you're gonna be buying this SUV for, you may not want to go with these options. Just too big. Now, if you're gonna be crawling in the mall, these are definitely the better ones to get. And again, they're wrapped with Dunlop wheels, and the size is 275/50, and again with the 21-inch wheels. So massive size, great for the mall, and great if you want it to look great. But when we're dealing with more of the off-roading use for it, stick with the standard size. Coming over to the side, you can see, again, it is a really big SUV. This actually has 3 rows. So you have actually a full bench in the middle, so they're not captain's chairs. And in the back, again, we have the 3rd row. So it's a big SUV. And as you can probably tell from the clip before, this has gained a little bit of height. And that's because this has air suspension. You can actually, again, when you're crawling those mountains, you can clear the front a lot more than you would normally, especially when we have these side steps that can get caught on something. So it definitely lets you raise the suspension. What's really cool, it's literally just a switch of a button, and I'll go ahead and switch it down. And again, it's pretty cool. You can see it's going down if you wanna, you know, have it nice and low. Unfortunately though, you cannot drive at this height, at the lowered height, because once you start rolling, it will go to what they call the neutral setting, which is in between the high that we had and the low of this. But this is great, you know, show off your airbags. Coming to the back, there's a lot of great things with this, and I can see why we have that massive price point. It's gonna give you those little bit of extra kind of pinkies up moment. One of the cool things, again, with the lowered suspension, it's easier to load things into the back. Now, this tailgate is a little bit different. So you press the button underneath and it's actually gonna be split. So we have two sections. You have the top and the bottom. This is actually pretty great because a lot of the times with these automated systems, you have groceries in the back if they're moving as you're going from the store to your house, and you open that up, the eggs fall out. I'm telling you this from experience. It was not fun. A whole box of eggs fell, or other things may fall out. So the fact that you have this bottom tailgate definitely is a great option when this is split. Now, again, it's just a matter of having this and open up. And again, when we're talking about kind of these glamping off-roading experiences that you can have with this, you have a nice little work area. If you want to have something like a small prep station, you have this here. Just like when I was getting the camera ready, I was able to easily put my bag here, get all my stuff. I wasn't reaching in, the stuff was fairly out. So I decided to hop in because I wanted to show you something that $103,000 gets you. So this actually has, for the third row, if you push down and hold the button, it actually brings the seat down. Now I'm bringing this side down and you just pull a little guy here and you got your third row. Only thing though is when you got your third row, you don't have space for anything else. So don't expect to have all of these people in here and have room for luggage. I can literally barely fit my bag. In fact, it won't close. This bag is not gonna close. So either you got everyone in the car or you got the cargo in here. Got to pick one or the other. But again, when we're dealing with that, just a couple of buttons, and this is what $103,000 gets you. Because pinky's out, right? So we get inside, and first of all, it's really easy to get in when the suspension is all the way down. And we get in and it's pretty luxurious. So the seats are this kind of brown leather, darker red brown leather. Reminds me of kind of like a baseball stitching kind of look to it a little bit with the contrast. So these are ventilated and heated seats. They're super comfortable, extremely good for long rides, or if you are off-roading. You know, you want to be nice and snug as well and comfortable, because again, you can really take, this is a very capable off-road SUV, which I've actually taken this off-road in some pretty tough terrain, and it handled it very easily. It's your typical Lexus interior, which isn't a bad thing. It's got a clock, so you're paying $103,000. You better get a clock. Now, one thing I would say is maybe lacking is the infotainment system. Lexus and Toyota, it's not there. It looks really outdated. I don't know if it's the colors, I don't know if it's the interface itself, but it's definitely not pleasing to the eyes or inviting to want me to play with. Now, again, we have our steering wheel, very nice and comfortable. It is a little tough when you're trying to park and you're at slow speeds, you're needing to really fight that wheel. So that was surprising. And I know it is the all-wheel drive model. This one does have an all-wheel drive system. I know it's not the differentials kind of fighting each other. I know what that feels like. But the steering wheel is just extremely heavy at slow speeds. It has paddle shifters, which is cool. This one has tons of technology when it comes to this. Now, this has a Mark Levinson system. Let's see, should we get this? Mark Levinson system, 19 speakers, 450 watt system, $2,300. That's a lot for a sound system that is not that good. I was not impressed. I told my buddy that has the Lexus, Mason, which you guys have seen before. He says, yeah, you know, the Mark Levinson system is so much better than the base one. So that concerns me for the base model system. Yeah, I don't know if I would spend the $2,300 on this system because it's not there. We also get the wireless charger. So this does have a wireless charger as an option. That one's pretty good. That one was only a couple of bucks. 75, not bad. I mean, for wireless charger, you're not dealing with the cable. And it just, you know, it's gonna be nice and away. So that's a great option to have. When we come down here, we have the joystick that we experienced in the RX 350. I love this thing. This thing was awesome. It let me really navigate, and it's very ergonomically placed. Now they have changed the different SUV models to the trackpad, which I'm not that much of a fan compared to this. So I definitely love this. Now, when we come down here, there's so many options. Again, this feels like a off-roading vehicle, but a lot more glamorous. So again, we said the heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel. It does have a crawl control. It does have the different modes. So you have Eco, Comfort, Normal, Sport, and the Sport Plus. And then you have your differential. So you can go to a low 4 or high 4. You have your airbag suspension that you can raise or lower. Again, once you get to a certain speed, it's gonna go to that neutral level. And that really does it for, oh, actually, so they do have a little bit more like off-road things. Like I said, we have the, what they call the turn assist function that helps you turn through the different terrains that you're dealing with. You have the crawl setting on or off. You have traction control, differential lock, and you know, the option to start in second gear for lower than ideal traction situations. Now, I've been keeping this one. I'm excited about this one because for $250, right? Let's check that out. I can't believe it's that little. Let's see. Actually, it's even less, $170. There's actually a cool box in here. So it actually uses the same AC that's being pumped through the car to cool it. This is actually cold. You guys can see it's actually cold. And talk about glamping off-road vehicles. There's a cool box in here. So definitely $170 is well worth it. This is the best option and the best value of this $103,000 vehicle. So this is definitely what you want to get. And if we were to see, this can fit about, I would say about six bottles. You can really shove in there. But yeah, it's definitely a cool little thing. Now let's check the back. Let's see what little guy says. I decided to come back here to show you guys how much space there is. And there's a lot. Granted, I'm not the tallest guy, but the seat is fairly back and there's plenty of legroom here. Now, this also has what they call their dual screen DVD rear seat entertainment system. Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of taking this little screen off and that's what you get. You get a nice little screen. You're able to see your entertainment system here. The DVD is in the front, or you have an HDMI hookup here. The only problem with this is the price tag. The price tag is $2,000. So it's $2,000 for two screens that are, you're kind of stuck with a DVD system or something with HDMI, and you're having to put something down here connected, which then where is that device going to be placed? It's going to be placed on top of the armrest or down on the floor for someone to accidentally step on it. I wouldn't go for this option. For significantly less money, you can buy 2 iPads and everyone has their own entertainment. Granted, you know, these are pretty cool. You have these wireless headphones, but again, you're better off buying 2 iPads. Every person has their own device. They can listen to their own system. Don't get this option. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed my review of the massive 2020 Lexus LX570 and its massive or just huge price that it has. Now, would you be willing to spend this much for all this? Let me know in the comments. Well, again, hope you guys enjoyed and hope you find the right gear.